folks, and welcome back to the SoftwareBuildSensei.net forums. Let's play Summer School competition. We're in week 3 now, which is math class. This does not mean that you have to play Donkey Kong Jr. math for 15 straight minutes, which is good because that would suck. Instead, you have to play a game that pits you one-on-one, mano-a-mano, against a computer. To this end, I have chosen Fighter Destiny 2, a very unique and interesting fighting game for the Nintendo 64. Now, interestingly, this game never actually came out in Europe. The original game, Fighter's Destiny, and quite while they changed the name of the game between iterations, I had no idea, maybe copyright, or maybe just because they thought Fighter Destiny sounded much cooler. So I never got to play this version of the game until at least 6 or 7 years after it had come out, at which point, of course, the N64 was long dead. Now, Fighter Destiny 2 is a very unique fighting game, whereas normally you would be just trying to deplete the other person's health bar to win a round. Here you instead get points for doing various things, such as a knockdown, which gives you 3 points. A throwdown, which you do by running up to them holding A and B, or pressing A and B, with various different combinations of the control stick, gets you 2 points. A counter move, which I don't actually pull off in this video because Dixon doesn't have any that easy to pull off on a keyboard, gets you 3 points as well. A ring out, as you see right there, is worth 1 point. And if you are good enough to stun the opponent and then finish them off with a special move, and all characters have at least one of them, you will get 4 points. If the fight goes to a judge's decision after 30 seconds, you get 1 point. That was a Master Chance fight, and if you win one of them, you will actually get a stat upgrade. Your attack, health, and recovery can upgrade throughout this mode. The Fighter's Arena mode, which is kind of strange. It's kind of a hybrid cross between a fighting game, a board game, and an RPG. You spin that roulette to determine how many spaces your character moves, and the aim of the game is to defeat this guy, the Master, not to be confused with the Doctor Who arch-villain, or indeed the lead character of the ActRaiser series. He was actually present in the first game as well, although he looked very different. Right now he just looks like a Mr. Miyagi knockoff, and there's an example of a throwdown, by the way. You have to watch it though when you do execute a throw, because they can be countered, and that counts if they're successfully executed by the opponent as 2 points for them, so you just have to watch yourself. And if they press A and B while you execute your throw, that's how they counter it, or that's how they get out of it anyway. And there's a knockdown. I'm playing as Dixon, the punk rocker from the UK, and I'm playing him because he's an absolutely amazing character. He's one of the best of the game. And by the way, that's a German suplex to an old man. This is such a great game. I cannot emphasise how great this game is. Also, Dixon is so bad as he laughs at an old man's misfortune. Now, your impetus for fighting and defeating the Master is every time you beat him, he will actually give you a new move. And these moves can actually be saved to a mem pack once you've beaten the game. There are 7 in total because there are 7 Master fights, as represented by these glowing podiums. At the end of the game, there are a choice of 3 trials. I'll touch on what those trials are a bit later on, because right now we have another feature to talk about, and that's these yellow exclamation mark squares you see dotted across the game board. Land on one of them, and your opponent will be revealed. They're obscured until you land on them, and then you'll enter a battle with kind of a gimmick to it. In this case, this is a sudden death battle, and quite simply it means that the first person to score a point wins. The other kind of gimmick fight, which I think you'll see later on, although I can't quite remember, is a limited time battle where you have 15 seconds to win, and again, the first point wins, instead of the usual 30 seconds. And yes, Dixon is so awesome, he has a Shoryuken as one of his knockdowns. Is it any wonder I wanted to play as him? Plus, he's British, I'm British, I've got to represent the UK, come on. Kate, the woman I just beat there, she's also from the UK, but she's not nearly as fun to use, or as good of a character. She's basically a fashion model. She may have been loosely modelled on Kate Moss. Loosely modelled on Kate Moss. That was not meant to be a pun, but you know what? I'll go with it. Second Master fight, because I'm babbling here. Honestly, the Master can be a very tricky opponent if you let him be. If you just constantly stay on him like I am doing here with Dixon, he's not that hard. He does have a lot of varied moves, because, you know, he's the Master. He has the most moves in the game. And I'd say he's probably one of the top 5 characters in the game, but unfortunately, you have to unlock him. Also, there is one of Dixon's 2 special moves. The Hello Nasty, which is basically a basketball slam dunk. Press down, up, and B in rapid succession, and he'll do that. And to finish off this fight with the Master, we have to do it in style, which means Shoryuken, and he's down for the count. I apologize for shouting out the name of the attack out of Street Fighter 2, but I couldn't resist. I promise I will never do that again throughout the course of this video. I may or may not be lying. He gives us another knockdown for beating him then, which this is basically a soccer kick if you do a quarter circle forwards and A. He also gets an S rank. The Master will rank you at the end of every battle with him. The ranks range from C to S, and there is actually an incentive for getting a higher rank, because if you can beat this mode getting A rank or higher on all 7 Master fights, you actually unlock him as a playable character. Although bear in mind, you have to actually beat the game with Saki first before it will let you do this. Saki is basically the Ryu clone of this game. He's quite a balanced fighter. It's very similar to the Master in some respects, so I suppose Master is the Akuma of this game, if I'm using technical terms. And now we're fighting the Ninja, another really cool character. In fact, I was kind of tempted to go as the Ninja and name him Cage Maru after the same character from Virtua Fighter, but I opted for Dixon because he is a slightly better character. Although the Ninja does gain points for sounding like Adam West after he smoked one too many cigarettes. Now, I was trying to bring out this guy, but he was tricky, and I was also very worried to approach him when he was hanging on the ledge, or maybe I'm just not that good. But eventually I did manage to German suplex him to get the KO in 32 seconds, which is actually longer than most fights take. In fact, at that point we would have gone to a judge's decision. So yeah, that wasn't the greatest of fights. But I still got a health power up out of it. Now, in addition to the Master, there are 4 other secret characters you can unlock throughout the course of the game. And we're just about to fight my absolute favourite of them right now, after I've panned over to show you the map, because I was kind of playing where I was going. See those purple flashing pads? We'll get to them in a few minutes. But first of all, we've got to fight Moo. Yes, we fight a cow with glasses and a gold chain. Best character ever. And although he looks a bit of a joke, oh, who am I kidding, he looks a lot of a joke, Moo can actually pack a bit of a punch, although he's not immune to soccer kicks below the belt. And also, this is the best game in the world because, if I can get it right, you can Samoan drop a cow! How is this not the best fighting game in the world ever? Okay, I'm exaggerating, but it seriously is a lot of fun. And also, Moo is mooing at the floor. He really is the best of the secret characters to fight. Maybe not so much play as. The other secret characters, well, I'm just about to fight another one here thanks to a very poor roll on the roulette. Another kind of a fun character to fight, but I wouldn't recommend playing as him. Oh wait, no, I'm ahead of myself. I fight him later on, or maybe I fought him in another take. There's also Fabian, who's actually the boss of the game, who you unlock by beating the arcade mode, which is just 10 normal fights, 7 stars apiece. It's not that hard, but Fabian is absolutely beastly. He has a really varied moveset, probably the 3rd best in the entire game after Dixon and probably Saki. And his theme music, when you fight him in his French castle, is phenomenal. The N64, well, it has some really good musical tunes on some of its games. Also, the Master decided to commit suicide there, so I was grateful to him for that one. The N64 has some really good musical tunes, but it wasn't exactly well known for its sound abilities. But the theme that plays when you fight Fabian is brilliant. The 2 other secret characters are Samurai, who is the practice dummy, who you unlock by beating a side mode of the game, which is fastest. There are 3 side modes. Also, the Master just went down for a 3rd time, and gave us a really good combo to use well on and on. Another reason I like using Dixon, he's got some really interesting and funny names for his attacks. One of his specials is called Heal a Million, Kill a Million. I mean, what's not to like about that? Also, that Shoryuken knockdown I keep using, its real name is I'm a Negative Creep, which again is just an awesome name. Now, I can't put it off any longer. I'm going to show you what's the deal with these purple glowing pads. You might have worked out that there's something special about them. They have a special fight. I don't know if you heard that voice. It was a woman saying fantastic. Unfortunately, this is anything but fantastic. This is Cherry, and also Master Chance to boot. They're not all Master Chances, these battles. And they're completely optional. You do not need to beat the game. But this is Cherry, by far the worst character in the game. I don't mean in terms of moveset, although her moveset isn't that great. I mean in terms of character design. I mean, look at this. We've got a street punk versus a burlesque dancer. And there's a sentence I thought I'd never say in my lifetime. But it's worse than that, because in the Japanese version, this is actually a man. Yes, it's the Birdo poison from Final Fight controversy again. and might be a reason why this game never actually got ported over to Europe, although it did come to America, fortunately. And that's a trick you can do if you're hanging off the ledge. You can press down A and B, grab the person's leg and throw them down. That's why I was being so careful with the ninja earlier, because if he'd done that to me, I'd have lost the fight. But no, I did not like Cherry at all. I mean, it's clearly a man, look at those muscles. And the thing about this mode is, you're going to run to Cherry time and time and time again. And as I say, it's not that her moveset is that good, her AI just seems to be so superior to the rest of the fighters. I was just about to go judge a decision, but decided, you know what, the hell with it, let's get a free knockdown. Because she was in what's called Paiori, or stun. And Paiori is actually an ancient Japanese word, and it means you're screwed. It doesn't really. Also, she's also not immune to soccer kicks. You can unlock Cherry, but you have to do something ridiculous. There are 3 side modes in this game. Fastest, where you have to beat 4 specially chosen opponents in a quick time. Rodeo, where you have to survive against Moo the Cow for a set period of time. And Survival, where you have to beat up to 100 opponents. Guess who you unlock if you beat all those 100 opponents? That's right, you unlock Cherry. I'd never done it because I had no impetus to unlock the flipping transvestite. Seriously, worst character in the game for several reasons. This guy is not the worst character again. This is Abdul, again kind of a joke character. He actually showed up in the first game along with Ninja, Master and Mei Ling, the Chinese kicking girl. They're the only characters that return unaltered in this second game. As I say, he's kind of a joke character, but he's not too bad. He's kind of an all-rounder, although he's in Paiori, so he's absolutely screwed. I tried to do a special, and I missed, and I did a headbutt. It's not easy playing this on a keyboard, seriously. The way you unlock the other characters, by the way, you unlock Moo, as you might work out, by beating Rodeo. Well, you can't actually beat Rodeo, it goes on until you or Moo loses. And here's his other special. This is Heal a Million, Kill a Million, and it's absolutely awesome. Now, I was trying to show off that if you beat an opponent with the special, you get a special roulette. Here, however, because I'd already beaten him with a knockdown first time round, I didn't actually get the special roulette. Not to worry, if my memory serves me correctly, I get that a bit later on. Yeah, you unlock Moo by lasting a minute or more in Rodeo after you've beaten the game with Adriana, who is a Brazilian dancing girl. And you unlock this guy, Samurai, by beating the game with Ninja and then beating fastest in under a minute. Samurai is the practice dummy. If you select the trainer mode of this game, this is the guy you will always be up against. Again, he's a joke character, but he's always fun to play against, although he is absolutely pathetic. I mean, look at this. He's got not that much health. Another interesting thing about this game is that all the different characters have different health bars, so it really decides to the strategy. But there you are, he's in Paiori, and that means he's a sitting duck for that special. I'm not going to give it its full title again because that'll get annoying for both me and for you. And Dixon again lasted his ass. It's not the first time that a training dummy has been a playable character in a fighting game. Tekken 3 did this with Mokujin. Mokujin? I forget how to pronounce it. There's the Master Roulette, and the good thing about this is it purges Cherry from the wheel. As you might have noticed, when I beat Cherry the first time, she actually appeared on the roulette wheel. And if you select her for the roulette wheel, you will have to fight her again, this time the standard 4 stars as opposed to 7 to win the fight. If she beats you in that battle, she will take you to a place called Cherry's House, which is basically a loop of extra battles. Now if you're lucky and you roll a 6 on the roulette, you can get straight out of it without having to fight anybody. But it's really annoying and makes this mode take even longer than it should. If you beat Cherry, even worse, she's supposed to disappear from the roulette for a while. But she only disappears for about 2 rounds and she's right back. I don't know if this is a programming error or the developers just doing it to fuck with you, but it's really annoying. I do not like Cherry at all, as you can probably tell. Also, another reason to dislike her, she replaced a much cooler character called Joker from the first game, who looked cool, had a really good fight style, was the best character in the game by far. Also unlocked by beating survival mode, getting 100 wins. He was worth the time to unlock and I did it. Cherry is not. We're coming to the end of the 15 minutes, so I'll just end with one of my final flaws about this game. It has a larger cast of 16 to 14 compared to the previous game, but the only returning characters are the Master, as you see here, Saki, the Ryu of the game, the mascot character, Abdul, Mei Ling, and the Ninja. All the other characters apart from Dixon and Fabian are basically just clones of the old cast. Seriously, only Dixon and Fabian have entirely new fighting styles. Everyone else from Adriana to Moo are just the old cast with a new skin. And that's kind of a flaw. But for all of its faults, this game is still very unique, and I really would recommend it. Out of all of my library of fighting games, and trust me, I've played a lot, this is one of the most interesting I've ever played. And that's no lie. I just committed to the 15-minute mark. We passed the 15-minute mark, and what better way to end this than by delivering a Dragon Punch to the chin of the Master and knocking him down? And so what remains me to say is, join me next week for whatever we're going to play next. Till then, Shoryuken! I lied again.